Hello my friends, welcome back to the channel. Again, it will be real operationals today from keflavik. I'm trying to perform many of approach, but there is something wrong with the scenery because my simulator always crashes. So I will perform it like I will constantly saving the panel of the airplane in order to reposition myself onto the position which I would like to have, and hopefully we somehow get into the airport, which is from Keflavik. Basically it's NARSARSUAQ or Bravo Golf Bravo Whiskey Airport. Let's imagine that we are on we are taking the scientists to the expedition. Okay, so basically that's it, and now we can go to the airplane and make some flight preparation. A few words on the beginning. If you are flying on the airport, when we expected the contaminated runway with snow, ice or slush, wet snow, dry snow, you have to have reverser operative, speed brake operative, and anti-skid as well operative, and in case you have a serious accident, it should be the special equipment on the board regarding to polar operations. Okay, but anyway, I will not discuss it right now. And the whole approach to the airport, when it is polar day, it depends when it is if it is polar day or if it is polar night, because in polar day we are using usually planning to fly to these airports, and you should have sunglasses, and sometimes this airport is categorized as isolated aerodrome. That means that we should have fuel overhead point of no return. Point of no return means that this is the point in which if we have certain fuel on board, we can continue, and if we don't have, we have to come back to the origin. So that's all about the talking, and we can start the airplane, so we can perform all the tests. And I guess we'll have the situation that I will not check the flight plan right now, so I will do it later on, but anyway, I will use ground power as long as it is possible. Okay, why? Because the fuel consumption of the APU, it's approximately 500 kilograms per 1 hour, and we need to have as much as possible. Okay, so that's fine, and now we can perform the fire tests. Overheat is okay. We can perform test as well. It's okay, but I don't hear no sounds, so I will stop the recording for time being. So now the sounds are correct. I have different output, not into my speakers, but into my television, or let's say my TV. So that was the basic problem. Sometimes happen that people forget, but that's obviously no problem. Okay, so we have fire test done, and the cargo fire test is very important. For this kind of flight, we can go up, check the leading edge devices. That's okay. We'll put the IRSs into on position, and now the alignment should be around 10 maximum of 10 minutes. It's 15 minutes. According to Boeing CBT, it's too much. It's way too much. Okay, oxygen, EC, everything. Warning systems are okay. Circuit breakers as well. Gear pin covers are okay. Documentation on board. Emergency safety equipment for this particular flight it's essential to do it, so it's all on board. So we can go to our flight plan and we can decide it about the fuel. So what does it flight plan says? We have optimum flight level 320, and I will get why we have so flight level 320. I will tell later on. We have 155 passengers on board, 3.1 kilograms, and what we need to know, it's NOTAMs and weather conditions. Okay, there are a bunch of segments, but it's basically over the Canadian FIR. I guess so that it will be not valid for us, but what is valid for us is severe turbulence, but it's intensified. That's not a good sign for us. It's from surface to flight level 110, so exactly on our descent. So at the airport, basically there is 4,000 feet rain. It's a light mist with overcast 800 feet and broken 1,300. So yeah, it becomes the weather much more worse. So I will check the NOTAMs, but hopefully we have no NOTAMs for this airport. That's perfect. And locator November Alpha 359er is out of service. So these are 2 points which we have to take care about. 3 points. Low visibility, low clouds. That's not a good idea for us. SIGMET warning, and we have localizer approach, which is basically only one if I skip the air-now procedure for another runway. And let me check the significant weather chart. Insignificant weather chart is depicted right over there. It's okay. All these areas should be far away, so I'm in this case happy. But anyway, we have 2 tons to care additional into the structural limit weight, but the runway is 1,800 meters long. Okay, so that means that I will put only 1 ton additional, so 12 ton. So we put 13,000 kilograms as a minimum block fuel to have some room space and to meet the requirement that yes, okay guys, you are good to go in case of performance limited landing weight. And now we have to go to map mode, like here, and we can make it like this. And as you can see, this approach is not longer valid for us. Okay, and we have to account it as well for the routing. Okay, so only one possibility is unspecified runway, Rmp Bravo, so that means that we can go here. Okay, and circling is not authorized south of the airport, so if we are making a circle to land, if it is the heavy wind condition, we can easily put it back. But it will be really hard because we have 3,300, and as I said, from operational flight plan, what is our weather depicted over there, and it's clearly stated that the weather is broken 1,300. So this is another tricky situation. The circling is as well no whit for us. Okay, so we have to perform the Rmp approach. So look at the chart, and for Rmp approach we have 3,400 feet. Okay, and what does it says here? That we have broken 1,300 feet. So in this case we are let's say we are allowed to take off, but if the weather it's not improved, but I can see the improvement within the weather to get a broken of 7,000 feet. We need to divert and the departure alternate is Akureyri. It's strange. Okay, destination alternate is Charlie Yankee Foxtrot Bravo. Okay, so we will see how the weather development for this time, and we are allowed to take off because our destination alternate the weather prior 1 hour and 1 hour of the departure is good. So we may commence takeoff as a pilot in command. But this is the theory, and in real life I will not commence takeoff. Okay. Unless I see in NOTAMs, sorry, in weather conditions that there is some improvement. So basically that's it. So we have 155 and 3.1. Okay, so 155 and 3.1, that means 1100 front, 2000 back. That's it. Leave it like this now for the time being, and meanwhile perform the pre-flight scan procedure. Okay. Okay. What I would have forget about mention of the point of return point and isolated aerodromes. You should have the APU operative. Okay. So cruising level will be 320 as we have talking about. Okay, I will explain it why 320. It's a very simple reason. Because in polar region the tropopause level is low, so that means that it makes an inversion, or let's say isothermal layer. That means that if you don't have the significant weather, significant wind, for example jet stream, it doesn't make sense to climb higher because of the temperature. Okay, your engines are no more longer powerful. So so that's the reason why we are not doing this procedure. Okay, we can check the lights, we can check the oxygen, tested 100%, we can set up the AVIS panel, put the brakes to RTO, set the parking brake, that's okay. And now I will do it like this one, because I will go to connect to the voice server ROS successfully, because yesterday it was overloaded server on VATSIM when we were flying, so it was an unpleasant situation. And now we can check the weather of the departure, and that's why I was not going to OFP. 7,000 feet, light drizzle, overcast 300, 1012. Okay, so what does it mean? means that the captain, let's say the first, I will do the first officer job and we will do the rest. Okay, so this we have, we are on stand number I'm totally dumb. 72. Okay. 72. Just right over there. Can put it here. I am not pretty sure if I will not load it within the downloader, so give me a second. I will put it over there, and if you are aware, because as you can see on the flight plan, our routing is created by waypoints. These upper routings, which leads via Keflavik, it's called Bruce routes. Okay, and other routes are not track, that means North Atlantic track, and they are as well depicted with the coordinates. Okay, but in our case, we do not need to do the compulsory reporting overhead the waypoint and put it somewhere over there. It's not valid for us, for our purpose. Okay, so that's we have 320, and our dispatcher found the best cost index for us is 69er, which is quite high with this kind of weather, and he found for us the cruise wind average is 25070. Okay, 250 or of 70, and this is quite problematic because we have really strong headwind component. Okay. So headwind component is basically 70 knots. Okay, so we'll be very slow, but anyway, yeah, it's okay. 5.7, it's our FMC reserves, and here in Greenland, here in Iceland, it's the it's departure transition altitude. I will pick up from the chart, whatever. It's 7,000 feet. Okay, so now the first officer do the job. See the entries completed. Captain will come and advise with the weather conditions. So we'll pick up the runway 19er for departure for sure. The QNH should be 1012. And acceleration altitude will be 900 feet, but engine out SID, as I don't have no longer access to it, it will be, in my opinion, the best way, the best solution, go to the south over the sea and hold over there. Basically you have no airspace there. No obstacles, nothing, so it should be okay. So put the flight directors. I'm pretty sure that we have I'll put 320 because there is no air traffic controller here, and I'm sure that in departure and arrival chart we are going to Raleigh. Okay, so departure runway 19er, it's a Raleigh 3 Charlie. Okay, and I'm very pretty sure that on Ralo 3 Charlie we have any climb restriction. No, we don't have. Okay, so basically that's okay. 193 will be our departure heading. That's okay. And in case of emergency, runway 19er we have, and we should have 194. That's pretty okay. And ILS it's 110.3. That's okay. And keflavik 112.8. So now everything is okay, so we can perform the checklist and wait for refueling, and then we may start the boarding with APU putting on bus. Okay, so I hope I don't forget to load the panel. So we can watch how it looks like. Can make a service. So 13,000 feet. I forget to put it in the start position. Jesus, I'm so dumb. And runway 19er has the heading of node 273 193, and that's why you are reading the checklist, because this is the part of the checklist, okay, to have the proper heading after departure set. 193, and that's okay basically. So now everything is discussed. I hope so. That's pretty fine, because most of the European airports, I mean, like the biggest airports, not mean the Greece island or somewhere over there, but on the bigger airports you have always stand number and coordinates, GPS coordinates right over there. Okay, it's pretty fine, because you need it to align the IRSs properly, and you don't need to look at the Jeppesen chart and found the okay stand number 72, and these are this and so on and so on. So overcast 300 is basically, when we look at the chart, we have category 1 approach. It's 100 feet below our minima, above our minima, so we are good to go in case of one engine operative we have. Okay, so basically that's it, and yeah, we have to wait for refueling. And what I need to point out, it's quite strange when the NDB is not serviceable and you have routing depicted overhead NDB. Basically with AirNav airplanes equipment, it should be okay, but imagine that you are flying over the sea, so you are relying on let's say 4 sources: 2 standalone GPS and IRSs. So that means that we have to double check that IRS condition is okay and GPS light is not illuminated. Okay, only in this case we are allowed to fly the destination, because as you can see, the conventional navigation is absolutely useful for us, absolutely useful. Okay. I don't know what is RNAV over North Atlantic, but I'm pretty sure that North Atlantic tracks are using RNAV 10. That means that you have the certain distance of 10 nautical mile ring in which your airplane should be of 95% of the flight time. Okay, so you need to prove the to CAA the reliability of the airplane, that you are good to go, basically. Okay. And as well, it's important, for example, but it is the mainly it mainly rely on dispatcher, flight company dispatcher, to talk with the arrival airport, or let's say destination airport, if they have the facilities, for example, de-icing. Okay, and if we have facilities like air starter unit, ground power unit, because you don't know if suddenly your IPU is inoperative and you stuck there. Okay, because they have no facilities. And now what? Okay, so and especially on this flight, we are carrying in bulk compartment, but I will put it into the front compartment because we have or I will distribute it, for example, 1000 for example 300, like this one, put it here, and 1500 here. We need to take some spare parts, okay, with us. So we may start with the baggage loading, because it doesn't affect our refueling, and I'm very happy that now it works with PMDG, that while I'm refueling we can make the baggage loading. It saves a lot of time for us, as well for the crew, and later on I will show you what I dislike on PMDG, or what is what are the things that they may improve. They may improved many certain conditions. Okay, many certain things, but I will show you right now, or let's say after boarding and after refueling. But refueling is in progress, so it's okay. And another point of view, it's a part of the checklist as well, level 320. Okay. Yeah, and always forget about something. For example, I put runway 290. Okay, so that's again my fault. It should be 190. Okay, so 190. 194, sorry, 194 and 194. We can check it as well, but now setting is okay. So we don't need, or let's say we'll wait. Imagine that we are coming from Keflavik, and Keflavik is well famous for two things. The one thing is that the fuel on the airport is much expensive. They are trying to make as much profit as possible, because they are in the middle between Europe and North America, and they are fully aware that a bunch of the airplanes are let's say performing the refueling over there, or if they have some troubles or something like that, so they will come to the airport and they can charge it. So on Iceland, the services are really really cost a lot of the money. Okay, so if there is some airport you would like to try to avoid Keflavik in some circumstances, but basically you have the second biggest airport is Akureyri, but this airport is listed as category C. That's why in operational flight plan it shouldn't be this airport over there. Okay, it shouldn't be, but let me check the flight plan once again. Why is the airport right over there? I would like to know. So, departure Keflavik, destination is NARSARSUAQ. Departure alternate. Yeah, okay. They established departure alternate because the sim brief somehow calculates that that the Keflavik has the low visibility, but it's not true. Okay, so we can easily get rid of this airport because it's not true. Okay. And in long taff is as well overcast 300 always, but it's wind conditions. So and I have a question right on you, and ask yourself, okay, which flap settings are you using with these conditions right over here? The runway is quite long enough. Okay, so try to realize yourself and just answer for yourself, and I will correct you. Okay, so regarding the wind conditions of 220/21 knots, that means that basically we have approximately 15 knots headwind. In this case, especially when there is gas condition, okay, it should be using the lower flap setting because it produces less drag. Okay, so and the airplane will be much stable than in when you are using high lift devices like bigger trailing edge flaps like 5 or 15. Okay, so you will be unstable on takeoff, and especially when you are coming out of the overcast clouds, we should encounter the wind shear. So in these conditions I will go definitely for the rate, no assumed temperature, and I will go for flaps 1. Okay, and you have to read all these charts. Okay, so we have all fuel on board, so put the fasten belts, cabin crew refilling completed, like this one. We can connect with the ground power, and we may start the boarding as quickly as it is possible. So now we cannot start. I don't know why, because we are waiting for fuel truck detach. I guess so. So always brief your general charts, because it says a lot to you, but really a lot of you. Like taxi routing, preferential runway systems, using the APU, which exitway is mandatory, rapid exitway I mean, and so on and so on. So know how noise abatement procedures are going to use. So in this case we have plenty of time, so we can go through it and check if there is any information regarding to the if the outside temperature is 0 or lower, the use of APU is permitted in order to heat up the cabin. They are get used from 0 temperature, but what about us, which are going from the warmer countries? It's 0, it's basically nothing. So that's why I don't start the APU. That was 2 reasons. To have this restriction and those restriction. And now you can see all runway use NADP2 crew during climb out procedure. What does it mean? Okay, we can go directly to the airport. So NADP, we just remind me, and I will tell you. But we have everything on board. Okay, so that's perfect. Okay, so we are waiting just for passengers. NADP 2 means that currently the ICAO are using the documents which define the noise abatement airports which don't have the noise abatement, basically because they don't care about it. And then you can have the airport which are using noise abatement 1 or 2. Noise abatement 1 means that 800 feet you may perform the thrust reduction. At 3000 feet you will accelerate onto 240 below flight level 100. NADP2 is the procedure when you in which you have climb reduction at 800 feet, and as well at 800 feet you start with your flap retraction, okay, to smoothly adjust into 240 below flight level 100. But big but, the most of European airports are very satisfied with noise abatement procedure A, which is the former document no longer valid, but it's depicted on the chart that they are using this procedure. Okay, that's why most of the companies has NADP A procedure as their standard noise abatement procedure. That means no matter which airport they are flying, they are using this procedure unless it's specified that there is NADP1 and NADP2. But stop talking and just wait for the passenger loading. As you can see, the bus is parked somewhere over here. I don't like these discrepancies, but I have to accept it. And all of the time I'm talking that I'm buying the GSX, but I don't need to use to see the passengers are walking and into the airplane and the baggage loaders over there. It's nice, but My videos, as you can see, and if you watch my previous videos, they are more advanced. That video how to climb, how to cruise, okay, and how to descend, how to perform ILS approach, and a bunch of the things that 90% of you are fully aware how to do that. So why I should explain it to you, the basic things, okay? But if there is somebody who would like to know how to do, who is really beginner, leave me a comment and I will make a video for you without any problems, or I will answer the question for you. Okay, so we have all pics on board. That means that we put it like this one, and we put there 22 kd rate. I'm pretty sure that it's okay, and we have 220 and weather runway. Don't forget weather runway 220 with 20 knots is the wind condition, and don't forget NADP1, so acceleration 800, reduction 800, and that's it. So that means that we'll accelerate approximately at 1000 feet, so it's quite short after departure, okay? So 158. And now, why is the speed indicated so high? Simple question, because we have the headwind component, okay? So that's it. We can release the stairs. Before we remove the chokes, we can ensure the brake pressure is okay. So in this case it's not okay, so we'll ask the maintenance personnel if we can pressurize the hydraulic system B for a moment, and so I will never make this video simulator again crash. It's incredible, but it has something common with this scenario, I think so. But anyway, so what I forget to put, trim setting, it's 6.2. Remember, the higher flap setting you have, the much more trim you use into the front side, so here, okay? The lowest flap settings, the trim is going much to after compartment, so 158 once again, 158 as we have, and now we have to start the APU. We can put it from the center tank pumps in order to avoid the fuel imbalance. And I made a mistake because I need to start the APU while passengers was boarding. I was allowed to do so and I have to do so, so it's my professional mistake. Because otherwise, when you have no success in to start the APU, you can easily disembark the airplane and put the passengers back into the bus and go into the terminal back again. So and now I prolong the time, which is not good because we are late on departure. So APU available, that's okay. We should put 1 minute in order to put the APU on bleed. Okay, and in this case we can disconnect the ground power, and the brake pressure is okay, parking brake is set. We can remove the chokes, just go through the rest of the things, and with the actions go to pushback. And what are we going to do while pushback? Okay, so it's approximately 20 meters, so I put 20 meters. Put to the left and connect the fuel tank. Okay, so that's okay. and 1 minute is basically passed. That's okay, so we can put AP on bleed, but we don't put the pack into the position. That's engine start procedure configuration. Okay, and now some companies have the hydraulic system AC, which is pumped to off position, because it could be some fluctuation in hydraulic system, or some fluctuation in AC transfer bus 2. That means that you can broke your gear pin and broke your nozzle steering, but I can see most of the companies are using that. They put them to on position and rely that the gear pin is okay and hydraulic is okay. Well, basically, for one advantage is it's a good procedure. Another advantage, it's a little bit wrong procedure, because as I said before, it may happen. But advantage of this procedure that you are no longer moving with engine driven pump A. That means you extend the life of the solenoid. But on PMDG, if I would like to do pushback, they have a bug, so we need to put all the pumps on position. Okay, fasten belts are okay, doors are closed, everything is okay, so we may ask for pushback, and once we have asked for pushback, we can put anti-collision lights on and make sure the doors are all closed and locked, and now we can perform the pushback procedure. Okay. Okay, so brakes are released. We start the block time. Always start the block time when you are doing the pushback and you release the parking brake and commencing the pushback, and or if you are on the stand while starting the engine number, for example 2. Okay, if you are not doing the crossbreed start. So right now we have to check N1 and 2 rotations and EGTs arising within 10 seconds, and it should be within 10 seconds, approximately 100 and something, but I don't like this number. Okay, 1, 2, 3, but it is only when you press the start lever to idle D10. So now it should be rise within 10 seconds to 100 and something. It is okay, it's reasonable, that's fine. So we have probably one good start, okay, without any problems. And please do not blame me, but I need to load the save the panel in order to have application failure. Okay, so parking brake is set, but he may not disconnect because we need to start the another engine, so we can supplementary procedure. Okay, but I can see he completely gone away, which I don't like. Okay, he should be still while we are starting the engines with you on connection in case of something happened, and connect the track, because once I have the situation when captain feel sick during pushback, so we stop the pushback and push back to the terminal. But imagine that he will disconnect, he will go away, so I will need to call the ground, to call them, and to get the pushback car and then get the handling agent back again, and it costs too much time when somebody feels sick. Okay, so we have start wheel cut out. So that okay, hydraulics pumps switches are on, imagine. So we can perform the procedure. Okay, like this one. That's okay, and we can put it, and always verify if your isolation bleed it's okay, and one it splits, that means that it's working, so you can put engine APU bleed to switch to off position, and that's okay. So you can put this one, and temperature is 11 degrees. We don't need to have the engine anti-ice, and you have to account with engine anti-ice while you are on the ground and making the performance calculations of the particular runway. Okay, so this we have. We can switch off the APU, we can check the hydraulics, check the flight controls if everything is working or no, everything is fine. We press the recall if there is some problem, because sometimes it can happen that PSIU is dual channel and the malfunction appears only when you press the recall. Okay, so that's it, and we can blank the lower display unit, and we are ready to taxi. And I will again make the procedure that I will save the panel load. Okay, in case of something happens, because I tried to make a video of this flight so many times that I am really unhappy with this situation. So parking brake released, left side is clear, right side is clear, and we have to go overhead the taxiway, and we can put the flaps 1. This is what I forget. But anyway, the flaps up, no light, and stabilizer trimming, it's your before takeoff checklist. Okay, before takeoff checklist contains only 2 items: flaps up, no lights, and stabilizer trim on green band. Why no lights? No light, that means that no amber lights. So that means that no skew detection, it's overhead the flaps, or incorrect flaps position regarding to trailing edge flaps position. Is very important, because this is no-go item. You have to go to the gate and just watch what happens. It happened to me once, and there was really a problem. Because it took a long time that they found that the flaps was really okay, but it was just the sensor issue. And to find which sensor, it's depicted the wrong skew detection. It's really hard for maintenance to find it. So it's not so easy as many people think that it is. Okay, so we have before takeoff checklist completed, cabin and galley is secured, that's quite okay. Okay, so we are entering the runway. Left side is clear, right side is clear. We can put the lights on. We can put it like this one, and transponder mode, that's called lineup procedure. And with the lineup procedure, you basically check the runway heading if match your condition. Okay, so runway heading, it's basically okay, and I will perform, sorry for that, but I have to do, because all of the Europe I don't have the problem, but here I have the problem. So panel save and call it keflavik 2, that's it. And yeah, we are good to go. So engines make the stable, and we can go. Okay, start the flight time. knots is checked, that's quite okay, that's perfect. We are happy. And now you can see the V1 and rotate, it's has the margin. It's because of the wether runway and accelerate stop distance available, as well as the it's much more the takeoff distance available or takeoff runway available. So 400 feet L now. I will couple the autopilot, and once we have 1000 feet, okay, the level change, we have 1000 feet and N1, so we can accelerate the airplane, so flaps up. And look at the clouds, and look at the temperature is 14 degrees Celsius. That means that it's isothermal layer, okay? So we have flaps up, no light, so put it into the VNAV mode. And VNAV mode, it's not accelerating because we have the speed restriction right over this point, which is this one, keflavik 285, okay? And after this waypoint, you will see the airplane will accelerate without any further problems. So once we are in the air, we will check let's say, yeah, okay, because I reset the flight simulator, I forget to put the right altitude, 320. And 320, or it's 330? 320 is set over there, okay. So basically it's okay. So we are proceeding to Rallo point. Level 320, we have pre-selected right over here, and as we are on the cruise, we will check few things. Runway condition, this will be as well checked on the ground, okay, but I will not let's say wait with the explanation on the ground with the 50 minutes. So that's why I do some job in in flight, okay? So now the situation goes wrong. As I can see these clouds, we should have some troubles with our arrival. Okay, so flight level 100, we can put the lights off. Okay, we can warm up the cabin a little bit. And we are waiting for cruising level, but we are out of flight level 100. That means the stereo cockpit is no longer valid, and we can talk about, for example, our destination airport. So it's really basic, okay? So we have NARSARSUAQ AFIS. That means that we need to do everything alone. That means that all of the descent, it's in our case, and we should respect the minimum off-road altitude and minimum sector altitude, unless we are stable on the approach, okay? And once again, the approach from another side is not valid for us because this NDB procedure it's unavailable for us, okay? So we have to make an Rmp approach in which the MDA it's quite high, so I don't think that we will perform the approach. And descent angle is quite steeper, okay? So I will put 244. For sure auto brake of 3, regardless of what happens. MDA it's 3050, so yeah. Okay. We have 100 of the room space, so in some circumstances we can make it. Okay? We can see the runway and we can make it, but it will be really close enough, okay? So we have 3200, which is basically set, and as you can see the cloud, so we have cirrus cloud layer over there. That's why the altitude is like it is, and 244. That means that on now it shouldn't be ILS, it should be the VOR. Okay, but that's it. And we have no navigation aids no longer, so we'll climb into our cruising level and then we'll decide it what. But anyway, MSFS approach, climb direct to Bravo Whiskey 0 to 1, then on course 265, passing 5900, turning right direct to LCAC point, climbing to 6000 feet. Okay, so that means that we are basically coming back, and we will see what will happen with this certain situation. Okay. And what I will offer is to make and within 25 nautical miles. It's from initial approach fix based, and yeah, initial approach fix. It's right. This okay. This is the intermediate fix. So that means that we have to account, for example, from Kolug, and we can put 25 nautical miles over the Kolug point, or let's say we can pre-select it. Okay. What we can do now? Okay. This NA, I will keep it because it's part of the routing, and yeah, well, but anyway, it's really close to the airport. So in this case, I will skip this waypoint and make it departure and arrival via Herna Bravo and Kolug point. Okay, and now we can put this point together. If somebody would like to know how to make these geographical coordinates, or how is it putting there, because Boeing says, and Boeing CBT says, okay, let's put north 065 and west 120 and so on. Yeah, this is the basic, but you can advanced how to do it without, or let's say if you don't want to be precise, as Boeing said, and you put just roughly coordinations, you have the table, and I'm showing the table for you right now, and there is the pictate that it is divided into the northwest, northeast, and west, and southwest and southeast, and according to this procedure you may choose your coordinates up to your liking, but watch the table carefully, because there is the pictate that if it's, for example, longitude about the 1 to 0, you are writing it like a different way. Okay. I am always forget to for this coding, but yeah, it's my fault, because I am that kind of the person that I was flying 300, 400, 500 700, 800 as well. So for me it's quite much more complicated, because I have now in my head a little bit mess up what is valid for which option, okay? Because if you are type rating only on NG, but you can see the bench of the NGs with totally different options, okay? And that's why you have to read the company OMB Operation Manual Part B and check it what's depicted over there and which airplane has which restriction. But if you are not aware or you are in doubt, for example, so basically there is no problem, but you can come to the cockpit and you can open your FCOM and just check it with the FCOM. Okay, so this is the difference, and I need to perform with this difference. Okay, and now what I am doing right now, I will check with my national IP, because I have access to IP of our republic, and there are the snow temps for many of airports. Okay, there is nothing not depicted within the snow temp. Okay, I will check another airport. If this airport, because the Greenland belongs to Denmark, so it should be there, because this is the Europe, and Greenland belongs to Denmark. Okay, so there are no snow temps right available. We are currently on the situation when all the airports are clear and dry runway. So basically, in a real life, we shouldn't have the problem. But in the flight simulator, as we see, the runways will perform the action. Okay. So anyway, we can make it like the way that the prior to top of descent, we will see how it is performed. Okay. If my computer crash again, I will reposition myself into the destination airport and within the arrival phase of flight. Okay, because as I told you, it crashes 3 times when I approaching Greenland, and I don't know if it is the ASOBO problem or the problem with flight sim TOS scenery with these airports. So we'll see. Okay. So we are at flight level 320, so perform in-flight check, everything is okay. Especially in polar region, check the fuel temperature, if it is okay, and check the generators with a good quality, that's okay. It's perfect. We can release the cabin because we forget about it. Anyway, duct pressure, temperature fine, 320. We have everything set. Maybe what we can set, airport elevation is 100, so that's okay basically, and yeah, everything is okay. So we have hydraulic quantity below 74. It differs again from the option to option. Some option have yellow and some option have white. Okay, so the PMDG has a white when the refill needs to be put there. I'm pretty sure that if I go to setup, options, failures, active 1, it's hydraulic system A. You can see the refill quantity. Okay, so we can re-clear it because otherwise we don't need it. Okay, so that's fine. Engine instruments, yeah, 69er minimum is approximately 60, so 69 or 67, I think so, and then we will change to reverse mode. But I can't remember if it is only illuminated on the ground. For sure, hydraulic is only illuminated on the ground with the refill sign, but regarding to the engine oil, I can't remember. Sorry for that. So basically, we can prepare the airplane. We're going to burn 3000. That's 2300 and 3500. And now you can see 3500, or let's say I will put it precise because my head calculator is completely out of the way. Okay, so once I'm putting on the progress page and let me check it, it's 10,800, sorry, 1,800 minus, it's 3.1. Okay, so if I put 3.1 right over here, we should have 66.1. So on this short runway, we are pretty close to the structural limit, and I am not talking about the performance limit takeoff landing weight. Okay, so for sure flaps 40 right now, and basically that's it. And now we can, for example, what we can do, go to route page or lex page, route data, and we may request the wind condition. But the wind condition is basically the same as we put there, so it doesn't have common sense. We ask the descent wind. Okay. And now the transition level at transition altitude, you can see right now oh, what's wrong with the it's huge updates. Everybody uh, it's it's happy what happened because the sun shining and reflections and everything are okay, but for me as a pilot I don't care about this situation. I basically care about to fly the airplane normally, but anyway, so we have this one pre-selected, transition 90. Okay, so we need to check the last meter conditions overhead the airport. We have 2203 knots, that's quite perfect. And no, it's not this one. It's this one, okay. So, wind condition is 230 13 knots. That means that I will use flaps 30 for sure. So, I will go for flaps 30 regarding to our situation. Because we have strong headwind component with 13 knot that's +7, okay. So that means that a 159er, it's quite high speed. I know about it, but ground speed will be much slower, so don't be scared. And it's 3,500 feet of visibility, rain, breeze, scattered, broken 1,500. Okay. QNH 101. Okay. So the weather improvement wasn't that I was expected. And I'm a little bit considering just for you because it doesn't make sense. I know, and you know both that what to do after go around and perform another landing to another approach, but anyway, if the weather not improves, I will perform the go around and I will change the weather conditions to non-real life, okay? Because it is the demonstration how to fly there, okay? So it has nothing in common with diversion. I can make a video with diversion next time, but I need to have some scenery and all the stuff around, so but maybe we'll be lucky. We will see what situation or how the situation will happen. Okay. Now we can look at ourselves. When are we positioning? We are on the halfway approximately. Yeah, it's because we have strong headwind component, and this is what I was talking about. Okay, so we have, however, the optimum flight level is 320. We can make a procedure like the way, for example, we are proceeding to 63.3 north. Okay, so I will find it. 3 north, it's just okay. First of the headwind component is much higher, so that was I expected, and this is the reason why the airplane crossing the pond are going for example in the morning from JFK to Europe via the southwest procedure, and the air traffic from Europe, it's making overnight flight to JFK via this way, because somewhere between there is a jet stream and it's more profitable for them to use it. Okay, so another discrepancy which we have. I hope the flight simulator won't fall down. Okay guys, welcome back. We are currently descending to NARSARSUAQ airport, and yeah, well, I checked the currently snow temps from IP. The runway should be clear and dry. Should be, according to the national services. Okay, but we will see if it is or if it is not. But anyway, my simulator crashes, so I need again reposition myself, but it's another story. I have something, maybe better RAM or something like that. We will see later on if it is improved or not, or if something is some part of my computer is dying. But regarding to our flight, currently weather situation is 2608 knots, so basically it's the headwind component, a little bit headwind component with 80 knots. So I decided to use flaps 40 for such a short runway. But what is the problem and what we can do right now? The basic problem is that we have broken 900 feet. As it is non-precision approach, we have to account with this situation, okay? And here is clearly stated that we should have broken at least 3,300 feet, okay, or let's say 3,400 feet. So we are really below the minima, and overcast is 2,100 feet. So basically, from my point of view, it's no go, okay? We'll check the airplane status, and we'll check how much fuel we have over the holding point. For example, go look, and if we are not success, I will not divert to another airport, because the topics how to divert to another airport will be added to my channel soon. So once we are at holding, I will make something like that, I will not pre-select it as published holding 6500. I will pre-select it, for example, 8000 or 8000 and something, in which we will climb on the holding, and I will check the weather into not live weather, but we can make some preset weather, and we can repeat all the procedures go down, okay? But anyway, If you look at the chart correctly, final approach fix is 4,300. So that means that we have to lose 800 feet only to MDA. So it will be better for us not to keep the airplane on the V now, but keep the airplane on the vertical speed, dive the airplane to MDA because we are allowed to do so. We don't have the obstacles right over there, and we will wait if we can see the runway, if we don't see the runway. If we don't see the runway, we will perform the go around and do it like the way as it is, because the weather was not improved like was in tough long-term forecast, but it was on the opposite side, so that means that it was not so good. Okay, so final approach course we have auto brake 3, flaps 40, 3500 MDA, QNH is pre-selected, and now setting is just I put NARSARSUAQ NDB VOR because we have to do so. So basically that's it. We have cabin angle secured, we can recycle it just in order to know that we are prepared to land. And what I put there is a circle overhead goal point. What this circle means? We have some minimum off-road altitude because we are now in uncontrolled airspace, so we need to adjust our flight regarding to obstacles within our sound judgments. So that means that overhead goal point, as you can see, we have within 22 nautical miles 10,500 feet, and within 10 miles circle we have 9,600 feet. Okay, and 9,600 feet is right depicted over here. We can check the systems, we can check the engines. Okay, hydraulic quantity when is less than 76, it should be a refuel. We can check it easily right now. Aircraft failures. Okay, yes, we have low hydraulic quantity. Okay, please be aware of the fact that last time on last video I showed a picture from one book, and there was depicted that the refill is in yellow band and its minimum was of 67. Yes, it should be, but it was regarding to another airplane, so it is if you find some discrepancy, it doesn't matter if is it bug, but sometimes for me it's really hard to say, because like my friend from Black Box 1711 says that he has flew too many Airbuses and too many options that he can't remember what is okay and what is not okay. And it's as well with me. I was flying 300, I was flying 500, 400, 700 and 800, and within absolutely no not no success, but I can't remember the options because each airplane, for example, one 500 was completely different from another 500. Okay, so that's the options of the airline. So okay, we can go to transition level, which is, I guess it is 110. Okay, so as you can see, we have now clear skies without any problems. I will check with the live weather. If it is okay, we don't have the real time. I am recording because not at night conditions, so that's quite okay. I will just to show you a nice view and everything. So that's it. I forget to put the switches into on position. And as we are on the clouds, it may be helpful the background and main panel to be switched on as well, the overhead panel. Okay. So basically we are approaching this 25 nautical miles and sector altitude from the globe within this sector. Okay, as you can see, 25 miles and 154 and 334. That means that basically this is this sector. Okay, and we should have at least 10,500 feet. So we are quite near. So okay, we can press the QNH and read the approach checklist. Once the approach checklist is completed, everything is okay. So now you can see that there is some mist or fog or haze like here, and this is creating the low clouds, and with the low clouds layer we should be very careful, because in low clouds layer you have one tricky situation, that your temperature will be high and you think you are okay, but suddenly as you are descending through the cloud layer, the temperature start to drop down. Okay, and it's because the temperature inversion it's related to mainly to fog, or let's say stratus clouds, which are really overcast and near to the ground. So you have to be careful with your engine anti-ice, otherwise in real life you should have the severe problem. Okay, I forget to switch into level change mode. We are quite high above the profile. Oh, but 500 feet is basically nothing, so... Once I was in light training, the captain, when we were 800 feet above the profile, and I put the speed brakes, and he told me that, hey, are you okay? 800 feet is nothing, close it, okay? So I need to close it. Basically he was true, okay? Anyway, so we can revert to VNAV path, but we do not have to forget what is our strategy, okay? So you always have to be, no matter you are flying Boeing 737 or Airbus 320, all of these airplane types are IFR, okay? But it's not like a conventional IFR, it's now IFR, and but you should be aware of the basic rules of the IFR. That's why I am descending like this one, and I am not going down until I have 10 miles, okay? It's because I broke the rules of basic IFR flying, okay? Because some people put their 3500 and keep it in VNAV and that's it. It's not true, okay? Even if you have copilot on board, which reads you the altitudes and tells you, hey, you are okay, you are not okay, and so on. And as you can see, the airplane is in front of us and there is a huge cloud layer. So it was what we was talking about, that we are going into trouble, okay? And we should have 240 below flight, below 10,000 feet, okay? So now we can go to 9,600. And once again, if we know that we are below the minima, always study MSFS approach. Okay, so climb direct to Bravo Whiskey 004, then on course 265, passing 5,900, turn right direct to Elga, climbing to 6,500 feet and hold. And that's why I would like to skip this one. It's just for flight simulator purposes, because we'll change later weather on QNHO 1013. It's basically 101210. It's only 30 feet, so okay, we can go to 6,500 feet. It's my bet, okay? Okay, so Galloc point we can easily delete from this position. We don't need it anymore. And what we can do, just for situational awareness, put the runway and put 10 nautical miles ring, okay? So we are approaching go look point. So after this waypoint, we should descend to 7,300 at or above. Okay, so lights coming on. That's okay. And as you can see, there are the clouds are a little bit thrown, so it's maybe a good sign for us that we can see the runway. But okay, the non-precision approach is like this one. It's always limited with RVR and visibility. What does it mean? It does mean that the sailing is as well limitation for us, okay? And why is sailing limitation? Because of the non-precision approach, you are not so close to the ground and you have to see much more, and sailing is defined as the broken, so that means half of the sky should be covered with the clouds. But if you have scattered clouds, it's quite a tricky situation because you are nearly to the broken, and you can easily lose your visual references and perform the go around, which is not good sign. Okay, so I need to put speed brake down because it reversed to the point to V now speed. Okay, after this waypoint we can go to 5600. And I can see the limitation. We have a maximum of 220, okay, but we have 230. Yeah, well, we should keep the altitude speed constraints, but in this type of airports we don't need to do so. I need to put the gear down in order to catch the glide and start to decelerate, okay? As you can see right now, we have the speed which is desired for us. We can go to 4300. Okay, so we have enough path, so that's perfectly okay. So we can close on this one and start with the flap retraction because we are approaching 10 miles ring, okay? So we can easily start with flaps 5, and now you can see what I was talking about. It was 14 degrees of centigrade and now it's 8, okay? And we are coming to clouds, so we need to put the engine anti-airs on. And now we can go to MDA, which is 3500 feet. I'm doing a little bit sooner, it should be somewhere here on depicted, but I don't know how behave flight simulator, okay? So we can put gear down, gear down we have flaps 15. It is the operational requirement to have gear down flaps 15 on final approach point or final approach fix, but it's not mandatory. Okay, it's some airports look how we are close to the terrain. Some airports have this situation, so we can go down to flaps 25. Okay, we can dive the airplane. And we will see with flaps 40 162, and we have 165, so we cannot go down. Okay, so that's quite annoying situation for me, and but anyway, we reach 3,500 feet, which is basically okay with flaps 25. We can read the checklist and holding on flaps. That's basically no problem. Which we can go via transit. Okay, so via flaps 30 and then go flaps 40 and 164. And as we have it, we can go to 6,900 feet, which was minimum altitude. But as you can see, yeah, we can see all the terrain above, but if you look at the here, we basically see the nothing. So as I said before, the purpose of this video is to fly to NARSARSUAQ and not to go another 3 or 5 hours to Canada airport as a diversion, because it's completely makes no sense for us. Okay, so we are waiting for the miss approach point, which is Bravo Golf to 0. Okay. And if we don't see the runway, and I can clearly see from this point that we don't see the runway, so go around, okay, and press flaps 15 like this one, positive rate. We have gear up. We should put the LNAV as a roll mode. Okay, I don't know why he's not climbing, so we are pilots, we have to accommodate to the situation, so put a level change, okay, in order to start the climbing. Don't be scared when something went wrong, and we can put flaps 5. We have flaps 5 and we can put the flaps up speed. We can put flaps 1. I'm sorry that I'm flying like a pig, but I have only one hand for everything, so, and maybe that's it. So that's it. We can put the autopilot engaged. We can press it like this one. This one. We can perform the after takeoff checklist because it's crucial, okay, for us. And we can join the holding pattern which is right over the airloft point. Okay, so that was what I expected. Okay, and it was really well simulated on Flight Simulator, the weather. So I'm quite happy with the situation. And what are the pilots doing the after go around? It's basically no problem. You just press the departure arrival, put there another arrival, AirNav Bravo, and now we are directing via Osmut, okay? Because from airlock to Osmut, now go look, erase, sorry, it's my bad, to 4 Osmut, and that's okay. We can put the new flap speed 146 is okay. And now if we are willing to go from Osmut to let's say with this direction, which is depicted over here, into Osmat, we need to keep as well the sector altitude as it is depicted over the chart. Okay, so we can fly to 8,900 feet. Okay, so 8,900 feet level change. It's about 10 degrees, so we can switch off the engine anti-ice. Oh, sorry, I put the switch before. It's my fault, it's my mistake. And over at Osmad, we don't have the speed restriction, okay? But anyway, to be 20, it's quite fine, I think, in our case. So we do not need to hold all the procedure over the LNAG and hold over there. No, we need to help ourselves, okay? So that means that I will put the Osmat into the fixed page. And now we are using reserve fuel, so we have to decide it in real life. We have to decide it go to alternate or land, and as I can see, we are not able to land. Okay, so in real life we are no lucky, and we really need to perform the procedure, which is basically leads us to our destination alternate. Okay, so this is quite fine, and via Osmat, as you can see, we have a radial 046. That means 246. Okay, and now we can see on the map when we are according to the radial, but we are okay. So we can proceed direct to Osmat point. Okay, so make it like this one, and now boom, we are already good to go. What we need to read is the checklist, but we are 9,000 feet is transition altitude, and now we have 8,900, so we are below. So approach checklist is not needed. Okay, so after takeoff checklist to line, it's what we need to have. Okay, And now, as you can see, this is the outbound course from Osmat. So we are currently at 25 nautical miles at 8,900 feet, which is okay. When we are from Osmat, I will delete it in order to not making a big mess. If we are within 10 nautical miles, we should sorry. If we are within this 10 nautical miles, we should descend into 7,500 feet, okay? So Osmat, and we can put 25 nautical miles ring. So now we are on protected area without any problems, without any obstacles. Right now, as you can see, we are clearly okay. And so we are trying to perform another approach. So recall is checked, we have auto brake minimums set, and departure is briefed, and now setting basically is set for us. So we'll try to perform another approach, okay? I don't know what's happened, because as I'm flying whole of the Europe, I basically have no problem with Microsoft Flight Simulator. But if I'm flying Keflavik or let's say Greenland, I always has the application error, and it's you are well known about this sign. It's CTD, crash to desktop. I don't know why. I performed the Windows DLS. Everything was okay. I performed the byte test with MEM86 and with Windows default. I performed the check disk. Everything was okay. Everything was completely okay. So I really don't understand why it happens. So we are approaching this 10 nautical mile ring, and I guess it's visually we can see no obstacles, so we can go down to 7,500 feet. Okay, we can go a vertical speed, and in order to achieve the continuous descent technique, and as you can see, we'll be right here at 7,500. So basically I'm good to go. Maybe a little bit more of vertical speed, and that's it. We have deceleration point quite short, so maybe that's why you have be not behind but in front of the airplane, because if you see something like you have to lose within 1 nautical miles or 2.5 nautical miles, I don't know exactly, between the point which is 344 and 0 to 2. We have 3 nautical miles, okay? And within 3 nautical miles, to lose the altitude from 7,500 to 5,600 and decelerate the airplane. Okay, sorry guys, but it's not completely okay. Okay, it's wrong. It's a wrong decision. So sometimes it could happen, but it could happen in real life, in a real airplane, that strange things are happening in FMC, and you have to account with this situation. Okay. Maybe we'll put a little bit less of the skies. I'll put a few skies, okay, like now, and then you can see the Greenland country. Okay, and now we can see, well, this approach, what is the required navigation performance and actual navigation performance, and why is it important to keep it with. Okay, so we have 7,500, we can go to 6,200. Okay, 6,200 is set. We can put it into the VNAV path. We can make it like this one and go down, and we can press the flaps 1, flaps 2. Okay, always when I'm trying to decelerate, try to decelerate for the first with the flaps 2. Okay, and you will see how the airplane perform. Now, as you can see, we are not performing well, okay, because we have VNAV speed, and that's not what I want to have. Okay, so I will go a little bit more down. I will put flaps 5. Okay, so we can go to 5,600. And do not hesitate when you feel that you are unstable to put your gear down. Okay. Okay, we can go to 4,300. This right now we can put flaps 10. Because you can see the airplane won't accelerate. It's because we have 176, I guess, passengers on board. We are quite heavy, okay, and we have quite a high fuel. That's why I was talking about that using, when you have on scratch pad using reserve fuel, that means that you have to divert to your alternate airport, and you have to declare a minimum fuel status. That, what does it mean? It means that you have priority for landing before the other traffic, unless the traffic, another traffic, let's say unless the other traffic, let's say, declare the emergency situation, okay, on board. Okay, so we have 4,300. So we are okay. We can go to flaps 15 and stop the speed brakes. Put the speed brakes to arm position. Put it like this one. Cabin crew landing position we have, and we can go to 3,500 feet, and we may decelerate. Okay. And And now the situation becomes tricky because I think that this kind of the airport has very steep descent angle, and it will be quite a pretty challenge to land over there. So we can easily go transit at flaps 25. Now we have altitude hold, so we can pre-select it again with approach altitude 6,900 feet, which is right over there depicted. It's okay. And we can put flaps 40, okay. And with flaps 40 we have 146 approach speed. Okay, and now we have airport inside, so what we can do, we'll disconnect the autopilot. Remember, flight director switches, recycle, and this is like the speed, okay. So now we are good to go. Otherwise, if we do not dive the airplane, as we are visually, we are very hardly make a landing over the airport, okay. So as you can see, we are below the vertical flight path, because the vertical flight path it's depicted into the missed approach point. So that means that they are calculated 3,500 feet. That's why we are low on profile. But actually, we are not low on profile, but I don't see the puppy. So basically, from this point, I can see that we are relatively okay. 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 It may be a little bit harder landing, but in short runways you have to always focus on the touchdown point. Okay, so in this case it was okay. Believe me, the airplane will make or let's say the jelly meat of the airplane, it's really high, so you harder make a hard landing in which the airplane goes to borescopy. Okay, so basically that's it. So okay, so put on standard, put the after landing procedure like this one. I don't know why he's not turning. Okay, that's fine. We can close the flaps. What we can do is put the squawk transponder on standby and stabilize the trim back to 5 units. Okay, as we have the plenty time of rolling, or let's say of taxiing, we can put the flight directors off and MCP to 100% back again. And now we have to realize where we are in order just to have proper depiction. And the first one will be alpha into the apron, so that's basically it. And so these buildings are not related to the airport, so we have to wait for another buildings. So we are basically coming to the apron, the first taxiway. So stop the flight time, generator put on bus, and lights coming like this one. And now we may, I don't know if it is the problem with these carbon brakes, but these carbon brakes are yeah, I flew with NGs which have carbon brakes, but I am still quite well happy with steel brakes, less than carbon brakes, because the carbon brakes are absolutely useful until they heat up, and then he will start braking. But it's braking on the last point, so in the end of the runway, which I don't know what to do. So that's why we are not using the carbon brakes too much. But somebody like them, I do not. So we have the first stand right over here. We can pick up the stand. I will put the taxi light overhead, the switch off, and we may start our turning. Okay, and that's it. We can put the parking brake into the set position, and APU is available. The reverser was used on the short runway with full reverse. It was not idle detent, it was full, but anyway, the temperature is quite low, so I will shut down the engines without any further problems. Okay, so stop the block time, and release the passengers. We have below 10%, so anti-collision lights off. I don't know why I have wing light on. It's completely not good. Okay, so we need to have the fresh air into the cabin. IRS is off. Mobile phone company is on, and everything is on. That's okay. So we are okay, and we may deploy the passengers on deplane. It's called in PMDG deplane. So we need to press the chokes, stairs, bus. We don't need the bus here, but anyway, we have to. And yeah, basically that's it. And we can make a refueling and fly back to Keflavik again. But for those of you, I will make a separate video, and for those of you who would like to know what is the shutdown procedure and shutdown checklist, and what is the securing the airplane through the overnight, I will make a video, but I will make the video in winter conditions, because there are some few things that we need to take into consideration. Okay, so yeah, basically that's it. And please do not hesitate to ask me, leave me comment. Okay, it was not true, and you're flying like a pig or something like that. It was worse, and I will absorb any comments. So but I will offer to you the real world operations. So as you can see, as we are using the reserve fuel, that means that it's right the decision point, land or go. But with the current weather, live weather conditions, there is no improvement, and we have no fuel for holding. So I will definitely divert to the airport. Okay, but this diversion doesn't make sense for me. Okay, but it's basically okay. So I hope you liked the video much, and see you next time soon. Bye bye.